I'm doing an audio journal on my 4-step method that I did based on something that came up. Belief came up that people believe is a knowing, and it's true. And it has to do with religion. So I put it on my step 1, which was step 1 is just to look at it, just be with it, just watch it, and be aware of myself watching this belief. Be aware of whatever feelings are coming up, and don't judge them. They're just there, and let it be whatever comes up. This particular belief is that people are going away from God, and they are actually bad because it's God who's going to take them out of this mess. And by going away from God, leading other people away from God, they're actually doing damage, and they are keeping people in the system, this bad system. Well, so that's what I put on. Now, on my step 1. Now, I did not ever through this I didn't see myself as the atheist, because people generally tend to consider anybody who objects against a God is an atheist. And for me, that couldn't be farther from the truth. But I see that as just another enmeshed tangle of beliefs that people will say are knowing, and then that's kind of where they go from there. But I looked at that and just was with it. All of the memories of things that were beliefs that I held. And of course, it's all generated out of fear. And the purpose of all of the fear and desire and aversion to the fear is so that we really don't know our true essence. And then many of those beliefs actually keep us from knowing our true essence. So anyway, all that stuff came up. And I've known all of that, but I thought, well, it's coming up today, so I'm going to just put it on step 1. And then the alarm went off for 5 minutes. The alarm went off, and I went over into step 2, which is just to be aware of my essence being whatever that shows up as. Sometimes I let my mind, thoughts, and my feelings and my body call this forward, and just see how I can call forward my real being. Not, okay, this is, I'm not calling forward something, some God, something claiming it's a God. Those programs, no. I'm calling it my being. And then sit with that. And then the 5-minute alarm goes off, and I'm moved to step 3, how to inquire, like just spontaneous inquire. Okay, based on step 1 and step 2. Now, when I'm calling it when my essence and my awareness is present, that's when I can, with regard to what I put on step 1. Okay, that might be hard to follow. It isn't that hard to follow when you do it. When you're actually doing it, and you write your steps down, and you write down what you're putting on step 1, and then you can pause and write down what came up too. I wouldn't advise using your phone, because the phone is very distracting, and then you get something comes up on your screen and you go to it. That's how we tend to be. So in step 3, if something comes up where, like, I question what is showing up saying it's an essence, I go, is that is that really who my essence is? Is that really what my essence is? I can call up to expose lies, and they have to come up. And I don't know how, but they do. They come up. Eventually, they come up. And I call up the pure, absolute truth. And eventually, it bubbles up to the surface. And so for anyone who has a fear that something might come up saying it's their true essence, but it's just misleading them, maybe put that on your step one and go through this method, looking at that fear. But anyway, so I'm looking at this idea, this belief that identifying the God program and the religion program as an overall hijack from my true essence, leading me into something else. I will inquire, and I'll even ask, what is a real pure question that I can ask to inquire, to expose the lies and bring forward the truth, so that my essence can be more present and I can be operating more from this essence. And all kinds of things can come up right there. All kinds of things like, that's not what this belief was. That's not what this place is for. You didn't agree to that. One time long ago, I had, there was this presence, and it was like, you didn't agree to that. And I said, hold on a second here. Now let's put that on step one. What do you mean I didn't? And now I'm going to write that down, because I'm probably going to go back in step one and go over that. Or I could just stop right now and let's go into that as step one. But I generally like to finish off where I'm at first. Finish my 4 steps on what I brought into step one before going into something else. Otherwise, this whole matrix can tangle you up. And my whole reason for doing this is to untangle me and bring me more into the awareness of pure truth as my essence being, not running away from it somewhere else because I can't get there. Who's got there before? Nobody. I'm thinking, well, probably nobody has got there before, because people like you keep saying nobody's going to get there. Nobody's going to get there. And that's your expectation. And I would lay that on step one. But in any case, I'm digressing a bit, because I'm kind of explaining where this can take you, and how to kind of rein it a little bit in. So one of the things that came up for me in step 3 was a belief, and it was fear-based, and it's a belief that, we don't know, we don't know where, we don't know that. We know that God exists and all of this stuff. And so I take this and I write it down. I'm going to go into step 1 on this. And I ask, is this true? Is this the pure absolute truth? Where are the lies in this? What can I ask with regard to this? And then I'll just sit and let something come up. And if my mind wanders off, I come back to it. And it's interesting what has come up. So I see the twist of it all. People come forward and say, you've got to believe in God and in the religion of their God, because if you don't, it's leading you away from God, and you're going to get stuck in this. But that's not true. That's not the pure truth. Not how I'm getting it. That's a way to lead one back into the beliefs of universe source, which they will not ever question, by the way. They won't question, and if you try to question it, they'll say you can't know the truth. Just come back here, do this, go back into AI. Or in this case, some of the religious people who aren't wanting to go into AI still aren't questioning what they're holding as a belief in God. And out of fear, they're holding on to what other people have told them about God. And then what they do already know a little bit about the world. And so they're running back to the old teachings. And that and that's what it's designed to do. So then, if you want to go into your real essence, they have beliefs put in place that say you have to go to God, the God, not your essence. Or if you go into like Eastern beliefs, they'll hook that around and mean you are the God, you are the source, and they'll say you're getting to know yourself and experience yourself. And I've put that on my step 1 and busted that one up, because it is all a way to get yourself out of who you truly are. And what's going on here with this within you. And then part of step 3, inquiring, maybe, how can I be right now as my pure being? Well, someone will say you can't help but be it, but that's not true either, because you're looking through a system that is countering that. So, and here's where it kind of gets nuanced. And it gets nuanced because that's what this whole place is trying to do, in get you to give up and just go with the common denominator, whatever that might be, whether it's Eastern, a new Eastern, or whether it's religious or atheist or what have you. And then when I go, the alarm goes off at 5 minutes, or if I want to, I might stretch it. I might hit the timer again for another 5. And then when the timer goes off, I go to step 4, which is I inquire now within my pure essence, my pure being, pure truth. How do I proceed from here? And sit with whatever comes up.